Welcome back to Geek-Stew, and today, guys, welcome back to another episode of Conspiracy Theories with Ike. That's right. So today, guys, happy Friday. Today is the 17th, I think. Yeah, it's the 17th. So before we get started today, I want to thank you, everybody, for watching. Go ahead and continue to subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. Go ahead and still leave comments and questions for future 100 subscribers video and everything else. So yeah, so basically today, what we're going to be looking at are a series of internet-themed theories, actually 3 specifically. Last week we did a double feature, which seemed to do pretty well, so I wanted to kind of go ahead and throw these 3 out there because these 3 are shorter theories with less information about them, and sort of like last week, the episode sort of would have been short if I just tried to focus on one of them. So in today's theory, there's going to be 3, but they're specifically themed towards the internet. Now, one other thing I want to say is happy birthday to me. No, I'm kidding. But for real though, happy birthday to me. My birthday was yesterday. You guys, I actually forgot to talk about it earlier this week on Wednesday. So for my birthday this month, I would like it if everybody could just subscribe. So if you're watching this and you hear it's my birthday, as a birthday gift to me, subscribe to the channel. So that's good. Go ahead and do that. I'll wait. Go ahead. Just click subscribe. It'd be great. It'd be great. Anyways, so this weekend I'm actually going over to Jungle Gyms in Cincinnati for my birthday. So I may try and do a little bit of filming on Sunday, but that'll be interesting. That'll be fun. And anyhow, so today, guys, we're going to go ahead and jump into this theory. So keep an eye out for future videos, of course. But for today's video, let's talk about some internet-related conspiracy theories. So before we get into this first theory, I have always want to go ahead and give a thanks to Skate1205 who created this iceberg. Always going to put it up right here 100% of the time, no matter what. Wonderful iceberg, always works well, gives me all kinds of great information, and the Reddit itself it's just awesome. So today we're going to talk about 3 theories, but first we're going to start with the internet was discovered. So have you ever thought to yourself, because a lot of the times when we discover new items or when things are invented, we sometimes will find similarities to old technology or old theories and things like that from decades, centuries ago, right? So this theory poses that the internet that we all know and love and hate was exactly what it sounds like, was rediscovered technology from another civilization from another period in time. That we did not create the internet, so Al Gore didn't create the internet. I'm totally kidding. Al Gore didn't create the internet, but whoever created the internet, because obviously I don't know exactly who invented the internet per se, but whoever didn't necessarily create the internet. They just rediscovered old technology. Now, of course, there's no real proof. I mean, who needs proof though? But there's no real proof to suggest that there was ever anything remotely like the internet in an old time. Yeah, frankly, it's honestly a little absurd. They didn't have nearly the capacity or technology in order to create a sustainable internet. I mean, maybe, possibly, big maybe, like an intranet that was like, systems connected to one another. But internet, I don't know. It's not very realistic to me, and in my research and findings, I couldn't find any actual solid proof that suggested that another civilization had discovered the internet. So I do question the likelihood of that. I will say, I will give it one thing, is that there's a lot of stuff that like you and I don't know of that was like rediscovered, if you will. There's a lot of stuff like that does happen, so I can understand why someone might posit this theory, but honestly I couldn't really figure out the origins of this theory either. Honestly, I think it has to do sort of with a string of other theories that talks about like how there are other popular concepts and ideologies and stuff like that were rediscovered. So I think it was sort of just as a string of other theories, and this kind of got swooped in with it. But do I think the internet was discovered? Not at all. But it's an interesting theory for sure. But what I would say, however, is that if we were to have taken some sort of inspiration from another civilization to create the internet, then of course that would just be the American way, or the human way, if you will. But anyhow, that's pretty much all there is to the internet was discovered theory. Again, I don't put too much weight or probability with that, just because it's not a realistic theory. It basically is just saying that, oh hey, we discovered the internet, but in reality there's really no proof to suggest that we did. Truthfully, that's just the end all be all about it. So don't take too much I guess don't put too much on that one. Don't put all your chips in that basket, because it's not going to happen. But some of these other theories that we're going to talk about are a little more realistic, so let's hop into our next theory. The dead internet theory. So the dead internet theory, let me preface this by saying that I actually kind of believe this one. Like this one, I was reading and I was like, but then I sort of started looking at other resources and I'm like, you know what, this could make sense. So internet was created, 40 years ago. We've had the internet for a long time now. Relatively speaking, we've had the internet for a long time. So most users on the internet are either dead or bots. That's the theory. Dead internet. And the reason for that is because a lot of the users are either old people who had been using it but then died, or are active users but are actually bots. And I would actually agree with that to some extent. There are some like suspicious like user profiles, and the one that there was an article, and I can't remember when I saw this. I actually saw this a while ago, mind you. This wasn't something I saw recently, but I saw something a while ago that said something like, if you Google like certain phrases, right? There was like a phrase. It was like, I love texting, I hate texting, but I love something else, and it was something random, but it was very specific. And then like you Googled that, and like there were hundreds, thousands of profiles that said the same thing, like Twitter profiles. And so a lot of people were like, okay, that's strange. Why? And some people were like, okay, maybe it's like some kind of like weird cult thing, or maybe it's some sort of weird like, like some just weird like prank or something. But then people were like, well, what if it's just all bots, or people who are like dead profiles or something like that, people who aren't real? And so it sort of sparked this like theory, and there's been some traction in more recent years that have kind of pushed people to continue to do research and everything else. But so the dead internet theory really is what it sounds like, that most of the people on the internet are either bots or dead people. And I can't remember. There was like a Facebook statistic that like a lot of the Facebook users are dead, which is kind of, I guess, plays into this ploy that a lot of the internet follows a similar trend. I think it was like that 50%, or like that could be completely wrong. So please don't quote me on this. But I feel like I remember reading an article that said like 50 to 60% of the users on Facebook are dead people, which is great in my opinion. Facebook, we have a Facebook, mind you, so like I'm not trying to shit on Facebook too much, because it is what it is. It's a fucking social media site, so I'm not really that. I'm not in that deep, but the social media site, it is pretty. It's pretty not great. Twitter's usually better, but so hey, follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Anyway, so dead internet theory, I would almost believe that, but it's still a little kind of iffy to me, just because I'm sure there are bots, I'm sure there are dead people on the internet, but to say that 90% of the internet is composited of people who are not real or dead, it just kind of, that number is what bothers me about this theory. If you would have said 50% or 60 or even maybe 40, like I would probably believe that. You know what I mean? Like, I would believe a lesser percentage, but when you say 90, that just sends up red flags, because I'm thinking to myself, 90% is a lot, okay? So if you have 100 people, you're saying that at least 90 of them are not real, okay? And that's kind of like the comparison here, is that there are millions and millions and millions of people on the internet and users on the internet, and you're telling me that a vast majority, that a 90% majority are dead or not real. So keep that in mind if you want to believe this. But there is other resources on the internet. There are a lot of articles about the dead internet theory, so there are additional resources that you could look into to try and further your own understanding, as I did to try and explain this theory to you guys. So keep that in mind. But yeah, I'm not sure if I really totally believe that. I do believe that the internet is composite of a lot of people who are either bots or dead, but 90%, maybe not. So last but not least, we have a theory about Google Earth. Oh man, I loved Google Earth when I was in middle school and elementary school. I remember, coming up in the age of, computers and everything else, in school and stuff, when we would have free time in like our computer labs or whatever else. Eventually they started to crack down on some of these game sites. I remember they would put up blocks on like their servers and stuff, so we stopped being able to access them and whatnot. And so growing up in the technological age really had me trying to find ways to entertain myself, and eventually I would start going to finding like things that are not able to be blocked, like solitaire. I love solitaire. I don't know if that's just like a conditioning from my childhood or what, but Google Earth was another one that I always enjoyed playing on because it had like a plane mode and everything else. So love it. Love Google Earth. Google Earth is really interesting too. I feel like there's a lot of really cool stuff you could talk about with Google Earth. But the conspiracy theory today is Google Earth black zones. Now, this is less of a theory because there is actual proof of this. So I don't know. I think the theory more comes into play as to why there are black zones. But to give you an example, this is a black zone. I believe this is over there. It's over some province within China. So the theory is that there are entities within this world that do not want satellite imaging of certain areas, and therefore they're blacked out by Google. So this specific image that I showed you is from China. This was posted in the R conspiracy theory or conspiracies thread on Reddit. The user is deleted, which is kind of strange. I mean, I'm not saying that he was murked, but I mean, it's kind of strange that he posted this and some other stuff. I don't know what all he posted, but it's just strange that he's deleted. I guess it's not that strange. People delete Reddits like they throw away trash. I mean, literally, I mean, I don't personally have a whole lot of throwaway Reddits, but like, I had a friend in high school who had probably had like 100 throwaway Reddits, so it's not that surprising. But the point is that the Google Earth black zones or blackout zones or blackouts or gray zones, however you want to word it, is a real thing. And most of the time it's foreign entities that don't want specific areas being, imaged, from a global, from space, and shit like that. And not to mention a lot of Google Earth imaging, street level stuff. There are a lot of places, even in the United States, that don't have street level stuff. Like, for instance, there are certain areas in certain cities where there are heavy military presences, especially in the United States, that have no street level view. And I don't think there are any blackout zones in the United States, none that I could find at least. But I do know for a fact that this one, the one that I showed you, does exist. So I guess some of the reasoning, it could be a conspiracy theory of they're hiding something there, or potentially if you had the ability to see the satellite imaging of that area, it could potentially compromise some kind of security for that area or for the country potentially. It's really hard to say why exactly this happens, but ultimately it probably boils back down to some sort of conspiracy regarding, hey, we don't want you seeing what is in this area. So yeah, this one I would say is more confirmed than anything. but the reasoning for the blackout is part of like the theory in this case, because we're not really sure why they are blacked out, but we have a pretty good idea. I mean, realistically, why else would a country black out an entire zone of their country from Google Earth? Like, Google Earth's not really that detailed. It just mostly shows terrain and things like that. I mean, if you zoom in close enough, you might be able to see buildings, but I feel like that's really going to be what they're trying to keep you from seeing, is buildings, or maybe the layout of the area. Maybe there's some sort of important military thing there. I don't know. But the point being is that boom, 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 Google Earth blackout zones is confirmed. This does exist. Compared to data internet theory and the internet was discovered, this is obviously the most realistic and proven theory of the three. And of course, again, we don't know exactly why, but we can take a pretty educated guess why a foreign entity would not want American citizens the ability to see a specific area of their country. So that's pretty much the long and short of that. But anyhow, what I would say is with the Google Earth blackout zones, you can actually go on Google Earth, and if you find any other blackout zones or grayed out zones, let me know in the comment section down below. Or if you're familiar with any of these theories and you have anything to add onto those, let me know. But we're going to go ahead and move into our final thoughts and then finish off this wonderful video about internet related and themed conspiracy theories. So, fun fact, I recently bought some new coffee creamer. It's a Southern Butter Pecan coffee creamer. So good. I love butter pecan flavored things, or maybe it was a Southern pecan. I don't know. But I love butter pecan stuff. Butter pecan ice cream. Oh my God. Don't get me started. Pecan pie. And I'm sure somebody out there is going to judge the way I'm saying pecan. I don't say pecan. It's pecan. Let me know how you pronounce pecan in the comment section down below. I'm from the Midwest, so that might be part of the reason why I pronounce it. I don't know if it's a right way or a wrong way or a weird way. That's just how I'm used to pronouncing it. But today's theories were all internet related. I really enjoyed researching these because lately, since I've been researching smaller conspiracy theories, a lot of these theories don't have a whole lot of details and there's not a whole lot of digging required. But these were a lot of fun because the first two were more, I feel like, just throwaway conspiracies because there's really no proof. But the last one is something that I've actually heard of for a long time. I knew that the blackout theory from Google Earth did exist. And I would even go as far as say is that I have had that knowledge for a while, but I never really knew that it was like a theory until I saw this iceberg. And then I eventually was like, okay, I want to do a conspiracy theory video regarding, specifically internet theories, because in this case, there are 3 whole theories about just the internet. And there are other ones too, and I was going to throw some of the other ones on there, like one called Schnell Online, and there's a couple others, but those ones are a little more complex, so I might have to do those on their own videos at some point in the future. But these 3 specifically were really fun to research and to do. But anyhow, we're going to go ahead and end it there. If you will, go ahead and give us a like and a subscribe. Go ahead and favorite, follow us on social media, all of that good stuff. And no jump scare today, guys. I'm sorry, no jump scare. Not gonna scare you. I could scare you. That is something that I could do. I think I did it pretty good last time. I think some people like the webcam Bart JPEG, which still kind of haunts my nightmares a little bit. Still see him when I close my eyes, but it's fine. But no jump scare today. No jump scare today. Or maybe there will be. Who knows? Maybe that's something we'll do today. I don't know. I guess you'll see. Or maybe you won't. Or maybe it'll be next week. Who knows? I feel like people like jump scares. I feel like people enjoy being scared. I feel like that's a genuine thing that people like. But anyways, we'll see. Go ahead and like and subscribe, favorite, follow us on social media, leave us questions and comments down below. We're still building up to our 100 subscribers video, so please continue to leave comments and questions for us, and we will answer them. We being me and Salsa. If you haven't checked out the Controller C podcast, go ahead and do that now. And like I said, yesterday was my birthday. Today's the day after my birthday, so if you want to help celebrate my birthday, go ahead and give us a subscribe. Follow us on social media, share the video, show your friends, bring your friends. Yeah. So, all right, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, keep on growing, and we will see you in the next one. See ya. thought I was gonna scare you, didn't you? I'm just kidding. See you guys.